The definition of a whale client, if you will, is, probably a client or even a prospective client who maybe is going to be, 10, 20, 30% of a company's revenues. And, it's important to really think about, do you want to have said whale client as a customer? I'm Steve Taylor. This is WeeklyST. For the last 12 years, we have been building our own $7 million, seven-figure MSP, and I share how we've gotten here and all the tips and tricks every single week. We took a stance a long time ago and said, hey, no whale clients. And so no single customer of ours is more than 4% of our revenue, so even more balanced. And the reason that was important for us and for me is I never wanted any single customer to be so big and so important to us that, they might change the way we do business, but then second, be so impactful to the business that if they were to leave or go somewhere else, that we would have to make some severe changes, right? And I've seen it time and time again in the industry and from peer groups and everywhere else, that when someone has kind of this whale customer, inevitably it doesn't go well, the relationship doesn't go well, and that's typically the way I see it, is because that customer really dictates and drives a different level of service, right? They're looking for something else or a different way of support, what have you, requiring maybe a lot more meetings or a lot more handholding or whatever it might be. And it changes the dynamics of how that MSP, that IT company, is able to service them, usually leading to, a parting of ways. It's astonishing. I've seen it, within the first year or two, typically. And I don't think I've ever seen a whale client stay over the long haul. And then, of course, that business owner, really frantic and disheveled because now, 30% of their revenues is walking away. And they typically have to make some big changes and some big cuts. And if you don't do that quickly, you run the risk of really the detriment of that business and that company, when it comes to profitability and those kinds of things, right? So in my book and the way that I've always built our companies with no whale clients, and I even share that with our team, I share how important that is, that if any of our customers leave, if a couple of our customers were to leave, and this stuff happens, right? Businesses get acquired, businesses get bought and sold, and or people retire and or they close their doors, right? It's inevitable. It's not always a service delivery thing. But that if ever any customer leaves, it's not that impactful to our business where we're gonna have to make cuts or job security is on the line, right? And I share that with the team openly to say, everything here is, you're taken care of, right? There's not a need to fear and be worried about job security. And so I think that's a super important thing for us in how we've designed this business with, again, no whale customers. All along the way, I knew, because I saw it from others. This is one of those great lessons that being in a peer group and learning from others before I had to learn the lesson myself. I just saw it from so many others and heard it talked about that we made the decision we're not going to take on customers of that size. And we just haven't. We've walked away from an opportunity because we saw, hey, this is too big, and so we'll pass it on to the next guy. And because of that, we've never had to experience the issue firsthand, thankfully. I would strongly encourage, if a customer is going to be more than 10% of revenues, right, I would really take a hard look at it. Is this the right customer for us? Is it in our wheelhouse? Are we going to be able to service that customer the way we do business versus changing our model or adapting to what they want or things like that? And two, if you have said whale customer already, right, it might be worth looking at, okay, how do I insulate against what happens if, they leave? And I would grow my way through so that, their leaving would not be detrimental, but also, what's the contingency plan if they do? I unfortunately, I think it typically means that, you've either got to add on that revenue really quickly, or you're gonna have to let, you know, 1, 2, 3 people go, whatever it is, because, you know, without that revenue, the expenses are still there. And if you don't have a profitable business, you don't have a business that can sustain.